Good morning, our people. Happy to see you guys here. Oh, as sisters, as mothers, we will do what we need to do because we love you guys and you guys are important to us.
Yes.
So there's a reason why we come out here every Saturday, even when some people, have shown that they are naughty people, they don't hear TK. My sister saw something online that says 70K. We thought that was so hilarious. So we realized as mothers, as sisters and daughters that we have a lot of NTK in our family. But we're not going anywhere because it's our father's land. Umuadana no, where their father's house will fall apart. So we will stand in the gap despite your missteps, despite your mistakes, despite your lack of ability to assess the whole situation in its entirety. Because that's important. If you don't assess the problem in its entirety, you can miss some important steps that can actually take you out. But notwithstanding, we will be here to continue to teach, to enlighten, to let you guys know there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way than for us to go the Nina's way. And we are not asking because a lot of us are attached to so many things. You have married, and that, and this shit, and mandoma, whatever. You married them all. We recognize all of that. And all we're trying to do is to build a nation that is sustainable and meaningful so that even when you are doing what you're doing, you will be able to sustain your family. So it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. So we welcome you with open mind today. I said I was gonna tell you guys some Thor and be dancing, but no, I can't do that, you know, because of the love that I have for you guys. We'll continue to, like mothers will do, even though you get upset, your mother will bring you along and give you a hug. We just need to redirect our attention to the right place that we need to go. So, welcome to the program. No unto for you guys today. Just come with an open heart, hear what we are saying, and ask yourself, does it make sense so that we can go where we're going? Meanwhile, please help us to like and subscribe and hit the notification button because they don't want you guys to see any of this. So help us to share, continue to share even throughout the program. Continue to share. If you think about other people you didn't share it before, continue to share. The more we share, the more people can get this information. And it's for the betterment of us all. It's not for monarchy because I know some people don't like me. They say I know they greet people, but I'm shy. That's why I don't greet. So because of that, they put me in a corner. So forget about me. This is not about me. Make this is about all of us. As soon as this job is done, you don't have to see me. I like to be elusive. That's the new English word. I like to be elusive. I don't like to come and be in your face. I just want all of us to have ọdịrị nwoke na mma ya adịrị nwaanyị na mma. So welcome to the program. Let me allow my sister to take on.
Thank you so much, my sister. My name is Dr. Ekwe Simon Okube, and everyone is welcome today. Uh, our new subscribers, those that are seeing this video for the first time, please help us to share. We appreciate you, and this is a teamwork. Those that come every Saturday, we can start calling names, and we thank God for the feedback we are getting because irrespective of the algorithm showing here all the things that are manipulating, it are used to all that manipulation of figures and all that. We get feedback from our people, and they are telling us we are watching, we are listening, we are understanding. That is all we need.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not about getting high whatever on YouTube so that they will pay us money. No, it's about getting the truth to our people. Because we are so confident that if our people will get the truth, they will act right. That's why we say, please help us to like, subscribe, leave your comments. We'll go back there later to assess what you're saying. I even reply your comments. So please leave your comments, leave your questions, the questions that like you want to understand, not because you just want to talk, but you want to understand. We will respond to you. On Twitter, please go ahead. Thank you so much, sister. I rest for now.
All right, thank you. I'm still sharing, so let's just share for a few more minutes because they are making sure that people are not getting this. So let's just take a few minutes to share. I hope your week went well. I have a feeling that this month is going to bring us some good news. If only we are ready to receive the good news. God has given us what we wanted. All we have to do is to pick it up and open it and stop crying as if our God has no ear, as if our God is the Nigerian God that goes from church to church and gossip to pastors and confuse them, give them wrong prophecy from church to church. So our God is consistent. He's a God of consistency. He's a God of persistence. He's a God of the truth. So when you wake up, go to Timbuktu and come back, we're still talking about the same thing. We're still saying the same thing because it makes sense. We have done our research. That's where we're so confident that what we are doing will work. You know, you can see a lot of people have thought by now would have disappeared. Oh, these women, no, no, we have investigated this process and we recognize that it's what will take us where we're going. So we're not going anywhere. It's like during Christmas, there is no vegetable. Mama will use oha to cook and cook because oha is readily available. That's what this is all about. This information is what would cook that soup that we've been yearning for. If only we can take a look with an open heart, because one of the issues that I have with our people is that you will be telling them, because their mind, I don't know what is going on, their mind is so twisted. You'll be telling them one thing that will be hearing something else. You'll be saying, oh, we want to build a nation where everybody has a water. They said, no, 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 no. You want to subjugate in the Hausa and the Yoruba. How does self-determination where everybody has equal justice is saying? They just, I don't know what is going on. So please, if you are here today, just listen. We have a PowerPoint for you to follow through. We also have a website where you can go on your own time and learn even more. These are the things that if you are truly a stakeholder, these are the things that you should be doing by now if you want to understand the process. You guys have tried your process, you have went to your election, you have done all of those things, and we are back to square one. As we are playing these games, people are getting older. So think about a presidency that comes on and stay for 8 years. By the time we turn it around, five presidencies, somebody is 40 years of age. By the time we do 10, somebody is 80 years of age. Can you guys appreciate that? By the time we do five, somebody is 40 years. A baby that is born now, by the time this presidency turns into 8 years, because each one rules for 8 years, by the time they rule for 8 years and five other people come along, you're 40 years. By the time 10 other, five extra more, making it 10 comes along, you're 80 years. So you see, we don't have time to waste. We cannot continue to pretend like we have no solution when the solution is on the table. And that's why we're serious about what we're doing. So our topic says today, welcome to One Nigeria, the estates of Usman and Fodio. I know you guys won't stop hearing that, but I think until we appreciate this part of the process, we will never move forward. Until you appreciate the fact that you are a renter in your indigenous land, we will never move forward. That's why they're doing a barakataba. That's why they will run election and tell you to go to court. That's why even people that have a court pending, people like Atiku that have court uh, uh, issues in the court, 2019, nothing has happened, but he've already come for another election. So the new nation called Nigeria should be the estate of our grandfather, Upman and Fodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power, use the minority in the north as a willing tool and the south as a conquered territory, and never, never, never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their future. I know this is demonic. This thing still resonates in our land today. These are the people that are driving the issues of if you're going to live, if you're going to that, if you're going to be president, if you're not going to president. That's why you have to go and visit them, wear their clothes, to swear allegiance to them, do all manner of stuff in order for you to be a president of your own land where you suppose they claim that you're part of. So as long as we have not appreciated this piece of the problem, we'll continue to run in circle. So it is now evident that Nigerians, especially our youths, have landed themselves in a very dangerous ditch by going to another caliphate organized election in 2023 under this imposed, sharealized, and feudalized 1999 constitution against Nina's wise counsel to push for and demand for a transition for true democracy and modern way of doing things. We have told you guys that this is not about not liking your candidate, because even some family members that I thought they didn't know politics, all of a sudden they are now P2B, P2B, P2B. But that's not even what we're saying. We're saying that in order for you to build this house that you're trying to build, let's build it on a foundation that is not faulty. That's what it's all about. Because sometimes I get upset and some things get lost in translation. So any honest person and truthful person will agree with us that it's a waste of precious time, skills, and talent trying to build a democracy on a constitution that is worse than apartheid constitution, or with people whose vision for Nigeria is based on their legacy of their forefather, of their grandfather, which is to promote the spread of fundamental Islam in Nigeria. And as we are watching, they're bringing it even down to the southern region as well. Amid this fallout and chaos from these fraudulent 2023 elections, because we know people are crying, well, the biggest rigger, the biggest rigger of them all won the election, because everything that you're doing is against the people. People did not make your constitution. The people are not part of what you're doing. What you're doing is keep them hungry and then drag them to every election to renew the life of the fraudulent constitution. So what we are saying is that there is a way out of this distressed Federation of Nigeria. There's a way out for us to navigate to safety and stability. We cannot be taking 10 steps forward and 20 million steps backward. And this is not about supremacy. We are all stakeholders in all of this. If we don't fix this, we will go nowhere. We will be running in circles. So please, come today as we discuss with true owners of Nigerian territory and geographical space to look at how we can strengthen democracy and democratic institutions, not just only in Nigeria, but in Africa as well. Also, we're going to see how to ensure that Judiciary and Electoral Commission is independent, transparent, and accountable. And under the current 1999 Constitution, it will never be. So go to court, spend all your money, run back and forth, make quotation, call Jesus, go for prayer, and sign petition. You're still in the same Nigeria that does not obey the rule of law. So don't get it twisted. Don't get yourself killed over all of this. Give them a few more months. You will see all of them in one of their children's wedding while you're there killing yourself and punching yourselves. We need to do better, my people. There is a way out of our problems. So I'm going to play today's video. So I think we go ahead while I pull up the video.
Thank you so much, Sister Mona. Yes, they are together on this issue. So while you're busy killing yourself, they will be going for tea and doing whatever they want to do, go for their club, go for their sports and all that. You're the only one at the receiving end. That's why you should not take what Ninas is saying lightly at all.
Next in the series of the urgent alerts.
Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You came up and hit the button.
Is the question of just letting everybody know that there's no Nigeria still in place for anyone to govern after the current round. I repeat, for the people rushing toward 2023 election, there is no Nigeria still in place for anyone to govern under that constitution that has been defeated. What it means is this. Like you are all familiar with lands and title deeds, the document that makes the land yours. The Constitution is the title deed. The 1999 Constitution is the current title deed by which the entirety of the Nigerian territory is held together as one political union upon which a government is anchored, and all of what that government does, and the states created, and the exclusive list, and every provision you see, the ownership structures created, everything you know as Nigeria, the military, the police, the electoral process, and all the institutions of state that you know, the local government areas, and all the rights and boundaries for where one begins and who takes what, who brings what, the tenure of everything. Everything you know as Nigeria. The definition of Nigeria is that constitution. The title deed by which people can sit in Abuja and be doing things in Port Harcourt to allot, to seize the port of Port Harcourt and allot to Dangote and his Intel's associates, to seize the port of Lagos and allocate to Dangote, Atiku and his Intel's associates, to seize the port of Lagos and allocate to Dangote, or to seize the oil and gas of Niger Delta to allot to Dangote to refine for them in Lagos, when others cannot be part of all of that, to seize the limestone of Benue to allot to a Fulani fellow to become the richest man in Africa. Those are the things that that title deed. When you hear that the constitution is the title deed, it is the right of the owner of the estate to do with it as he pleases. That is what the Fulani is doing with your oil and gas in Niger Delta, is doing with your port in Lagos, is doing with your bitumen in Ondo, is doing with your limestone in Benue. But, and that's a big but here now, that title deed receives its life from the claim that we authorize it in the preamble that says, we the people have solemnly resolved to live in unity as individual. That claim is coming from the mouth of the Yoruba who are now complaining, the mouth of the Ijaw who have been complaining, the mouth of the Igbo who have been complaining, the mouth of the Fulani, of the chief who have been slaughtered. That claim that they submit themselves into this union is the authorization for that title deed, is the signature sustaining that title deed. And the further claim, both of them falls, of therefore we make and enact, give unto ourselves the following constitution. That is, that we have agreed to be in one political union, and that we have also written the articles to govern that political union. That's what that constitution, that's what makes that constitution the kind of title deed we're talking about. If anything happens to that title deed, like a landowner that loses his title deed or gets the title deed invalidated, we have stepped forward, the owners of the sovereignties that are detained here, the Yoruba as Yoruba in Yoruba land, the Ijaw as Ijaw on Ijaw land, the right to self-determination, which is an incident of their sovereignty, is what Nina has rallied them to exercise together. Because we say positively that we have not met. The proof of what we are saying is also in that constitution. Let the lawyers in the land be confronted by whoever is desirous of finding out. The decree number 24 by which that constitution was imposed is printed by error in the constitution itself. Absalom Abaka telling the story of how he came about the document. He said he formed a committee that went around and came back to him, and he now added and subtracted and declared what is left to be called the 1999 Constitution. That is the full story of the document. He left an instruction in subsection 3, section 1 of that decree number 24 of 1999. The instruction is that that decree should not be printed, should not be seen by anybody, so that nobody will ever know this dubious source of that constitution. But because that decree was printed inside the constitution, it's still there. If you go out to the traffic now to buy a copy of the Constitution of 1999, you will see that decree number 24. Then you compare the story of Absalom there and that false claim in the preamble. That was what we took to court in 2007 to say we needed to invalidate that constitution on the grounds of legitimacy. It's not the legality for the lawyer, for the mediocre lawyers that are all over the place that are saying the document is not legal. The document is legal, but it's not legitimate. And it is that legitimacy that is more important than legal, because it can only become legal if it is first legitimate. If we made it, if we didn't make it, then we don't have no constitution. That's what we are saying. We're only tolerating it for the sake of peace, for the sake of, avoiding anarchy, because anarchy may come if we don't manage it the way we're managing it. But let nobody think it's going to remain like this. It wasn't like this 20 years ago. It wasn't like this 10 years ago. It wasn't like this 5 years ago, that people are now challenging everything in every part. And we have organized them to be able to do it conclusively, because it is their right that is inalienable. It's called the right to self-determination. That is their right to live in their spaces unhindered, undisturbed by anybody. The Yoruba will have that right, the Ijaw will have that right, all of those, and it's inalienable. And we have organized them to be able to exercise it at this time, in rejection of that imposition by this caliphate that imposed that constitution. And so what we're telling us now is that whether people listen or they don't, because some will think, oh, if we can get to election, then Ninas has failed or Tony has failed. You fail it. We just laugh at you, because you are going to find out the hard way that there's no Nigeria to govern by the time you get to that other end. Therefore, all the way to when the election happens, we are going to carry on. We are going to carry on with what we're doing everything we can to stop, to finalize the return of the sovereignty of the people that are hijacked here by that constitution. You can get to the election itself, and the dynamics of this debate will have gotten so bad that the election will collapse on the head of those organizing it. You can get to the day you say you've finished the election, you've sworn in the winner. As long as that winner is swearing to defend and uphold that fraud of 1999 that has my signature, he won't be allowed to enjoy the benefits of that title deed under that instrument. Whatever be the nature of the fight, there's no war for the people who will be frightening other people that war will come. War between who and who? Look at this map again. Nobody from this alliance territory is going to be in any war with anybody in that alliance. Let it be clear.
All right, so we have this video in its entirety on our Facebook page. You can also find it on linasvoice.org to watch. So we are going to continue with today's PowerPoint. Please continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and all those fancy things that needs to be done.
Thank you. While my sister pulls up the PowerPoint, appreciate once again those of you that are watching. Some are sending a message saying, I'm live, I'm on, I'm watching. Thank you so much. Please share to your friends and your church leaders, those that led you to an election, a process that we know that is fraudulent, is a lie. But the church leaders continue to build on lies. And they tell you they're reading Bible, and they're telling you they're following Christ, when they are building on a foundation that is false. And they will boldly come in front and beat their chest that they are building lies, and they're dragging the people of God to that pathway that will lead to death and like lack of anything, like anything, wait state, anything you can think of. And they think that represented Christ. One that Christ said on the last day, that is not everyone that calls Lord, Lord, that he will recognize. He will recognize you by the works you have done. You know the truth. Ninas had met with you severally. The bishops, the Catholic bishops, all the Pentecostal leaders. You know this thing that will set the people free. What did you do? You suppressed it. You suppressed the truth from the people and continue to feed them lies and even make noise and say that God spoke to you. No wonder God is speaking to you, all of you, different. Your God has now become a gossiping God. What he tells Paul Adaferati is not what he will tell Paul and Neche. What he tells Paul and Neche is not what he will tell Adeboye. What you tell Adeboye is not what you tell Oyedepo. What he tells Oyedepo is not what you tell the Catholics and the Anglican. On the way they are divided, because it's about selfish interests. They all have a dog in the fight. They all have candidates to push for. They are doing this so that they can make more money from the people. People, if they tell you they're not getting anything, is another lie. They get things from these politicians. They are their church members. The politicians did not fall from heaven. They are their church members. Some are even Muslim, but are married to Christian pastors and wives. Have you seen that they're all together? They are sharing this national cake together. That is why they will not tell you the truth. That's why they will lead you to a pathway of destruction. And
In the name of the Lord.
in the name of the Lord. Have you seen how the Lord is disgracing them? After one lie, they'll bring another lie in the name of prophecy. Lie upon lie. What they will say, God will disassociate himself from what they said. They will lie another one. Please, my people, if you want to follow God, go and carry the Bible by yourself and begin to read it now. We have said it on this show. It's criminal for you to call yourself a Christian and you're leading children in the pathway of Christianity and you don't read the Bible, you don't know what is inside it. There is a reason why Roman Catholic Church initially will not allow their members to read that Bible. They will print out bulletins of what they want to them because it's about mind control. If there's nothing in the Bible that they're hiding from you, why would they not want you to own a copy and encourage you to read it and understand it? No, they will tell you no, that if you read it, you won't understand it. You are not able to understand it. Just like they will tell some people that if you solve maths, you will go crazy. So don't solve maths. It's about mind control. If you want to control how people think, control what they listen to and what they watch. So they will continue to feed them lies because they want you to think in a particular way. And we are saying, no more. You don't have to be like that anymore. We are now in the era of light, in the era of expose. Go to Google, go to anywhere, go to the Bible, even Bible app in your phone. Go, it has a search. Click any word and search it. It will bring you all the verses that you need and you will understand it. Start with a version that you can understand. If you cannot understand King James, take the one that is simple so that you begin to understand certain things inside. And no man or woman will lie to you again.
And it comes with auto read, so you don't even have to,
Exactly.
you can listen to it like a music.
Exactly. You're driving, you're cooking, put it on to read, to you. We are all for open, like truth. That's what we represent, daughters of truth. Truth concerning economics, truth concerning religion, truth concerning politics, truth concerning everything, health. You must embrace truth so that we can run. So today, like my sister has said, the topic is welcome to One Nigeria, the estate of Usman and Fodio. And we have shown you a piece of it. My dear, please, can you pull up that got a step back? We've shown you the evidence. This quote was made on October 12, 1960. He said, the new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio. This is Ahmadu Bello saying this, 1960. He said, we will ruthlessly prevent change of power. We use the minorities of the North as willing tools and the South as conquered territory and never allow them to rule over us. Never allow them to have control over their future. This is what we are living today. So anybody saying, oh, it's not true. Is it that the person has not been living in Nigeria or is telling himself or herself lies?
Or they got paid. They always get paid.
Yes, or they got paid. Like we see them, they're always paying them. So we want to look at this legacy because this is Usman Dan Fodio legacy. He handed over to his children. Ahmadu Bello collected it and then they move on. That's the people in charge of Sokoto Caliphate. Please, the next slide. So you see, we are saying what has happened. We want to look at it. Because when somebody is saying something to you over and over, you need to sit down and think to what is going on. Nigeria is a project built on a worldview of domination and subjugation of one group over all the other groups in that space. And it's not group because
And we're living the life, or we're seeing it happen.
exactly, when the people say group, is because the colonial masters called us tribes. We're actually not tribes. We are nations. How can you call a nation of 40 million people like Yoruba land? That place is supposed to be called Yoruba land. Like you have England, Finland. They have it in Europe. Those people that they could call groups of people that they could call tribes, in Europe, they declare them nations and they have independence and they do their stuff by themselves. Some nations in Europe are just like 7 million. How can you now come to Africa, a people that had their kingdom, system of election, system of governance, system of finance, everything before you came? You decide to reduce them and say they are mere tribes. And that's why our children, that the youths that we're trying to explain to, are not getting the message. When we try to explain to them what is happening in Nigeria, they will say, oh, don't be tribalistic, don't be this bigotry, don't be this. And there are some fake elders that know the truth, but decide to manipulate it because of what they want to get from it. And they keep lying to our youths. One thing I will tell you about truth is that the day the child will know that you have been lying to him or her, that's your end. You that you're telling that lie. So we are encouraging everyone to come on the table of truth. The white men, the colonial masters, they lied. Okay, but we are on the scene now, and we need to begin to tell the truth. What is happening in Nigeria is the legacy of Usman and Fodio, that one group, and we are not afraid to call the name, it's the Fulani group. If you check and go to all the African countries, you will see they are present in all the nations, up to 5 nations in Africa. The Fulanis are there killing them. They have one particular country that they are majority. Why wouldn't they assemble there and have that as their ancestral land and rest? No, but they lied that they are nomads. And they kept traveling everywhere, killing everyone. Everywhere there is war in Africa, go and check the root of the people killing the indigenous people. It is the Fulani people. We are not hiding to say it. Like some people said, I heard recently, that if somebody is stealing your thing, that you should be on top and shout, ole, ole, ole. Okay. But you cannot lie when we are telling you that the ole is so person. But you are lying to my people. No, that is another person. The Nigeria project that you have, we know some of you like to like, oh, I'm a Nigerian because you love their song, you like their food, you like the jollof rice, you love the drama, you love Nollywood. But it's beyond that. People are dying on daily basis. This is not about jollof rice. This is not about the dance. This is not about opening your chest and saying I'm a Nigerian.
Sister, it's even so bad that even when we travel, this is how you would know that we are not the same. Even when we travel, Yorubas don't mingle with Igbos. We don't see the Fulanis if they are here or not. Maybe they're in the White House. We don't know. We don't see the outside. You don't see, it's only the same group. That's why you know these people are different.
Yes.
When we are here in different nations, they will run from all of us. The Yorubas will do their own things and the Igbo will do their own things because, guess what? Because we know we are not. Our worldview is different.
Yes.
It's different. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. There is no one called a Nigerian. It's a lie. But there are Yoruba people. There are Ijo people. There are Igbo people. There are Efik people, Tiv people. And there's nothing wrong with us identifying ourselves as such. There is beauty in diversity, but it doesn't mean I should deny my ethnicity or deny my nation. We can work together and have a nation together, but it doesn't mean I will
With
have to reject.
respect.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
mutual respect, mutual respect. But it doesn't mean I have to deny who I am before you can be comfortable with me.
Mm-mm.
In marriage, you have male, you have female, but they come together and build a beautiful home and have children, become productive. The man does not need to say, oh, I reject being a man, I'm not a woman. And the woman does not need to reject and say, I'm not a woman, I'm a man. No. Own who you are and build from there. But
That's
you
it.
know what? The Nigerian project we're seeing, we're telling you it is not your project. It is the project of a group of people that are going from nation to nation, killing people and making them unstable. All they do is to dominate and subjugate the ethnic nations, the indigenous ethnic nations.
They
And
kill the people and they kill the land. Everywhere they go is desert.
exactly,
Everywhere
everywhere
they
they
go.
go is desert. They kill the people, they kill the grasses, they kill the animals in the forest, everything they destroy. Anything on their pathway is destruction. When I read in the Bible, it said this thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. I didn't know it's these people. And that's what they've been doing. They are like cankerworms that like locusts, eating every vegetation they see on their way. What they operate, their worldview is exclusiveness and lack of cooperation. They
Yep.
don't want, you are in a space with some people. You don't want to play a fair game.
Mm-mm.
You want to exclude them and dominate over them. No cooperation at all. They have a narrow mindset. They see their world only through that feudalistic worldview, domination and subjugation. Nothing that like democracy in their worldview. This set of people with this legacy of their great grandfather, what they don't care about the regions. They don't care about people, other people's religious heritage. They don't care about other people. They don't care about diversity. They just want everyone to be one in their depraved mind. They don't want to recognize the complexity of the peoples and their culture that we have in that geographical space. All they want is what they want and nothing else. No other person's view stands. No other person's view should be on the table except their view. And they call that democracy. And you are validating it. Is that democracy? These people institutionalized this worldview. They made this worldview to be what everybody will swallow. That's why we have political instability. That's why we have social conflict. That's why we have economic stagnation. Everywhere you can see it. These people, they have told you that they will lead you ruthlessly. They are not interested in you being part of what is going on.
Nope.
All they care about is to preserve their legacy. The Fulani oligarchs, and you know them, they're living with you. You can mention them on your finger. Go and ask your politicians what we're saying. They know the truth. Go and ask your church leaders what we're saying. They know the truth, but they will lie to you. These people use corruption. They use the people that have corrupted. Part of you, your people, yes. The corrupt, criminal, and greedy, selfish politicians. They use them as allies to execute what they do. That is to confuse you. If you are looking and saying, like we are saying, is the caliphate, is the Fulani caliphate, that one doing it. When you look in some areas, you see some of your brothers and sisters, you say, but this person is not Fulani. And the people that their mind is just basic will say, is it Fulani that is doing this? Is it Fulani that some even ask their boss and say, is it the constitution that is doing you? These people, they operate as a kingdom. They operate as a nation. They understand their nation. They understand their language. They understand their worldview. They did not stop there, because if you are doing that, we don't have problem with that. That is your self-determination. But where we have problem is when you want to impose your own on every other person, then we have issue with that, because that is not democracy, and you cannot do that anymore. So they use the corrupt people in your midst to get what they want. They form allies with them. That's why I see Tinubu, for those in Yoruba land. Your land is being sold. We warn you here. Yoruba people that are jumping around with Tinubu, ask him what he gave for him to get what he's getting. Because Fulani will not give you anything without getting something in return. It's wetisi ubia werisi, like we say in Igbo language. Bring head and take head. Go and check out these things. It's not okay for you to assume that it's okay when your children are the ones being, the destiny of your children are the ones being, is being destroyed. They treat the southern people as conquered people, a people to be controlled and suppressed. And you hear them bragging and saying these things. So what's the implication of this type of statement? What is the implication of this type of attitude? Even in home, if you have children and one child has this type of negative attitude, that family will not work, because it will lead to backwardness. So this type of legacy, or working with people that have this type of legacy in their mind, is why we have lack of development.
Yep.
Both for
Please
present.
continue to help us to share. You can see they're seriously blocking this. So continue to help us to share and
Yes.
share. Thank you. Go ahead.
The lack of development that you're witnessing, both for this present generation and the future generation. These things are going on because somebody somewhere feels that he has his great-grandfather's legacy to fulfill. And they don't hide it.
They're born to rule you.
Yes, they don't hide the pictures. In their political meetings, you saw the picture of Usman and Fodio. They're not hiding it. They're not
It's
hiding what they're
everywhere.
doing.
No, they're not.
You are just the one not following. This is what has led to what we are seeing in that space, because people are not ready to share. The indigenous people didn't worry them all. Say, okay, come and be around. We have enough to share. No, they're not there to share. They want to take control and suppress, like they have suppressed the Hausa nation. Are you hearing about Hausa anymore? Apart from the language, they have been dominated. So if people are coming from the north, you don't know who is who, especially from you are from the south. You don't know how to differentiate this one from that one. But we do know how to differentiate them, because we have gone to do research. And that's what we are telling you, to do that same research that we have done. They deny citizens equal opportunity to participate in their shared destiny, in shaping their destiny. This is what they do because of this legacy that they have in their mind that they must uphold. This legacy gives them a worldview that hinders the growth and progress of all the other peoples, all the indigenous peoples living in that territory called Nigeria. This worldview is the same worldview that the colonial masters have. It's colonialism worldview. Their own is feudalistic. It's the same thing. As a result of this worldview, the peoples, the nations in that Nigeria are unable to attain their liberty.
Nope.
And they can't even exercise their rights to self-determination, because some people feel it is their duty to suppress others and to manipulate others. We're saying that there's a reason why these people are doing what they're doing. We want to dig further in what we're saying. And we decide to title this segment, The Audacity of the Children of Usman and Fodio and Their Lack of Repentance. Because it's not like we have not been saying what we're saying. We've been talking. People have been shouting, stop what you're doing. Stop, stop. It's like children where they're supposed to play and they're busy fighting. You say, stop, stop. You look for the aggressor and say, stop. You child, you like looking for trouble. Stop, stop. People have been saying it, both locally and internationally, In Washington, D.C., people that know the truth are saying it. Children of Usman and Fodio, stop what you're doing. Repent. Repent. But you know what? Their audacity will not allow them to listen to the instruction, to listen to the cry of every other person saying, stop, stop, you're going too far, stop. They ignore all the efforts of the indigenous people to live a harmonious life in that space. Check who and who is fighting. For every crisis you have in that territory, there is something that is causing it, because somebody wants to steal the resources. We will break it down for you further, because sometimes some people see some crisis, but they don't know. They say, oh, in the south, this one is fighting this. Go and look for what is causing the trouble. Then you begin to understand how that fight started. These people sabotage every effort made to create a true democracy for all ethnic nationalities, so that everyone will be happy and everybody will have a sense of belonging. They sabotage that. The more you try to build, the more you try to accommodate them, the more they have the audacity to destroy what you're building. When you listen to their choice of words and their bragging, it's unbearable. You can't even imagine that human beings can be on TV and be saying some of the things that they say.
It's their estate, my dear. It belongs to them.
Yes, because of that audacity they have, that your land is their estate, it's their great-grandfather's estate, and they will do as they please in your land.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And they put it in your face. They will say, we will rule you as we have been ruling you before. And you're listening. You're hearing it. We can't tolerate this anymore in this space. That's what we're saying. Therefore, it is essential for every citizen of the indigenous peoples in Nigeria to reject this their attitude, this their divisive and exclusionary ideology. It's time to say no to it. We can't do that anymore. It's time for us to begin to work together to build a more just, equitable, and peaceful society, and even future. And this is what NINA's, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, this is what they have been proposing for over 23 years. For over 23 years, this proposition has been on the table. Let's return to true federalism so that we can have true democracy. It's as simple as this. But your fake politicians, your criminal politicians, your fake church leaders will continue to lead you through the pathway of danger, through the evil forest with 10-headed demons. And you are dying while they are increasing and becoming the billionaires of Africa. Your pastor is now selling estates where one house is 500 million. What is he doing?
And none of you is a stakeholder in that estate. So
None of you is a stakeholder. Meanwhile, if other people build companies that you contributed to, you are supposed to be a stakeholder in that company, and they will be paying you dividends. But no, you take your money to them, they build business empire, and they exclude you. Go back to those your church leaders. Tell them to begin to pay you dividends. Otherwise, there's going to be serious trouble going ahead. You know why I know that there'll be serious trouble? Because hunger will push you to do the right thing. We are saying, ask the Fulanis, which part of the land in Nigeria is their own? Ask them. Which part of the land? We can look in the territory in Nigeria. We can see Yoruba land. We can see Tiv land, Efik land, Hausa land. We can see Igbo land. We can see Ijo land. And all the resources there. You ask these Fulani oligarchs, where is your father's land here that you are making Nigeria the estate of your grandfather? Where is your ancestral land? Point to it. Is when you begin to ask these questions, you show that you have come of age and you are ready to face truth and embrace truth. Otherwise, every other thing you're doing is criminality. Both you that you are voting, both you that are leading my people to vote, both you are organizing with them, anything you are doing with these Fulani oligarchs, you are the criminal our people are looking for. It's just that our people don't know it yet.
Yep.
The day our people will know it, everybody will be on the run. And that day is coming very fast because the Fulanis are pushing it too hard. They are pushing it hard. My people say, you have been stealing something small. Me, I'm the owner. I just say, okay, so far I have enough to survive. No problem. But when you not greedily be taking and taking and taking, you see, me that I'm the owner, I will notice that you are stealing. And I will recognize what you're doing, and then I'll begin to look for solution. That's what I say. That the children of Usman and Fodio have been taken for years. Our people do not worry. But now, the resources are getting depleted and the population is increasing. You see, now the owners of the land are beginning to feel it. It's biting. So they will begin to ask, what is even happening? How is it that we are the 6th oil-producing nation in the country, in the world, yet we are the poverty capital? It doesn't make sense. Who is eating our grapes? Who is doing this? You see, we begin to ask that question. They will definitely ask questions because that's the thing about hunger. Hunger will make you to develop sense by force. That's why the poor children are smarter than some of these spoiled, entitled children. Children that are from their rich parents that don't know how their parents became rich. They have a sense of entitlement. But when you have children that are from humble background, they have sense. So hunger teaches people sense. And we are saying that the 1999 Constitution, which these Fulani oligarchs imposed on the owners of the land, is the current title deed. What is title deed? The document that makes the land yours. Those of you that have property, you know what title deed is. The document that says this land belongs to you. 1999 Constitution is the title deed for the Nigerian territory. And that is what these Fulani oligarchs, the children and descendants of Usman and Fodio, are using to impose, that they imposed it. And they are using it because under that 1999 Constitution, the whole territory is held, the whole Nigerian territory is held together as one fake political union. Meanwhile, what our own grandfathers had in mind when they came together trying to build a nation is regional autonomy. So you have your own constitution, this one will have their own constitution, then we'll come together, not to lump everybody together in one fake political union. That is the issue we have. That unitary Nigeria that you are building is not your project. It's the project of the descendants of Usman and Fodio. And any effort you make towards building it, you are building it, you are putting your own people in slavery. And
do you know that this is so? I don't know why it does not make sense to our people. I run into people every day that ask me, are you from Nigeria? I said, no. I will tell them that Nigeria is an enterprise that was set up by the colonial master. They say, oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm glad that you're recognizing your nation. Which nation are you from? I say, I'm from Igbo nation. They say, oh, from now on, I'm going to remember that. Tell me why people here are still going around spreading a trade name that a prostitute coined. And you're here parading the trade name as if it's yours. You are not a Nigeria. Nigeria is fraud. Nigeria is a name that was meant to make a business enterprise. And you are not part of the equation. Begin to claim your nation. You're not a Nigerian. You're a Yoruba. You're an Igbo. My children even recognize it. The children that were born here in America, they have never, for the past year now, they have never said they are Nigerian. They said that we are from Igbo nation. We are nations.
Yes.
Begin to appreciate that. Begin to claim that. Drop the name Nigeria. Nigeria is what made you leave Nigeria to come and hide here in Houston. Nigeria
Yes.
is what made you, for you and your wife to be living as roommates. Nigeria is what made you to keep your children here. They don't know their grandfathers and their grandmothers, and they are all dead. And when they know them from distance. Nigeria is the reason why your children don't know their cousins. Nigeria is the reason why you fly in and you fly out. Nigeria is the reason why you finish school here and you're stuck in America. And you have the audacity to promote Nigeria? The Nigeria that took your life away from you, your future from you, your plans from you. The Nigeria that made you to leave the place where your umbilical cord was buried. We left the land of milk and honey to come to be a slave somewhere else, and we told ourselves the big lies. We need to retrace our steps. We need to retrace our step and wake up.
Okay.
There is no Nigeria. Stop promoting Nigeria. There is no Nigeria. You, the youth online, Nigeria is a fake name. It's almost like going to buy Louis. I don't know where Louis or Vuitton, whatever his name is. And I will go and spend $3,000 to go and carry some random idiot somewhere in France smoking cocaine. I'm walking around as if I'm somebody. I'm wearing Louis Vuitton, $3,500. Why are you not promoting your father's name? Mr. Louis, would he carry your name? Munachi, Korea na Agari na France.
Ask me.
You see, we need to stop the mind game. We need to wake up. We need to start asking questions. We need to take back who we are. Because all these shenanigans going on is not what we are. And we are not Nigeria. And there is no Nigeria. Get it through your thick head. Sorry, Sister.
My dear, there's no sorry. You have said it as it should be said. We are not Nigerians. There's nothing like, for you to have Nigeria, say you are Nigerian, what is your language? You have to have a Nigerian language now. That's how nations are built. So please do not allow people to tell you lies. You can't feed on lies anymore. And we are saying that this lie is built on that 1999 Constitution. 1999 Constitution is the reason why that lie is still on today. That title receives its life and claim that you, the people, authorized it. That's why I say it's fraud. And for the lawyers that like making noise on TV, you cannot be shouting about electoral malpractice and fraudulent electoral process.
You live in a fraudulent environment. You're marinating with it.
Exactly. You live in a fraudulent country, operating a fraudulent constitution. What is your problem? Which law degree? Where did you pick your law degree? Kenneth Okonkwo. Ito Italian mafia. Because Jolo Kenneth Okonkwo, you law degree. You don't come to radio shouting about, oh, the election is fraud. The election, this one is fraud. Meanwhile, you're building a fraud. You are living fraud.
Oh my gosh.
What type of what would they call it? Partial truth are you spreading? Selective truth. When it comes to this, you speak the truth. When it comes to this, no, you close your eye. All of you that are hobnobbing with politicians. Why the people die? We tell you, see the problem here. You ignore it. Meanwhile, in America, the celebrities are the ones that echo the voice of the people. The elites are the ones that they echo the voice of the downtrodden. But it's not so in Nigeria. They are busy sharing the elites and the middle class.
Singing with their names for us.
Sharing the cake and singing and promoting criminal politicians and criminal church leaders. Why the downtrodden are being killed on daily basis? You don't have sense. When are you going to develop it? We continue to say that the 1999 Constitution is the title deed, is the document that is giving the children of Usman and Fodio the audacity to do some of the things they are doing, to say some of the things they are saying, the abomination that is coming from their mouth. 1999 Constitution that they made and imposed on you is what is giving them that audacity. It is 1999 Constitution that gave you the audacity to balkanize you into states. Because because of the resources on your land.
Hmm.
The states were not created according to peoples so that there will be harmony. No, they were maliciously created, and the local governments maliciously balkanized so that there will be boundary, ethnic fights. When you are fighting, just like what the church is doing, I tell people the colonial masters came with the missionaries. And we are not saying that we have issue with God. We don't have issue with Christ. We don't have issue with Bible. We have an issue with people that monetized Christianity in our land. People that came with the mind of colonizing us, and we are teaching our people Bible. If you came genuinely to teach Bible, not to colonize us, we have issue with that, because you will recognize our culture and our tradition. And just like medicine, in medicine, when you practice medicine, you have to recognize the environment where you are, the culture, the prevailing culture and tradition there. If not, you'll be killing people that you are here to hear. It's the same way Christianity ought to be. When you get there, you recognize their culture and tradition, and then make them, because they know God already. My people knew God already. They just needed to understand better. But you took them away from that knowledge of God and threw them into politics, religious politics, and balkanized them. In the house, we have one is Roman Catholic, one is Anglican, one is Pentecostal, one is Deeper Life, one is Shallow Life, one is Mountain of Fire, one is Fire on the Mountain. Everywhere, fire, fire, fire.
The only thing, their main role is to hold the people down while they are being raped. Nothing else.
That's it.
They will be singing, your rapist is in the back, doing whatever they are doing. And the church leaders are saying, keep on praying, wait on the Lord, trust on the Lord is your strength, the Lord is coming, it is well, you will be okay. God will meet you at the point of your needs, instead of pointing you to where the problem is.
And you're bleeding.
Busy now, when somebody is in the back doing the unthinkable to you.
You're bleeding to death. You're bleeding to death. And the pastor is saying, pray. And they're doing a bragadabra on your head. They will come and show you their muzzle. That's a new one. Pastors are now building to show muzzle. When they come and display their muzzle in front of their congregation member, hey, my pastor, all the women will fall in love with him and leave their husbands. Abomination upon abomination everywhere.
All in the name of the Lord.
All in the name of the Lord.
Mm-mm.
The 1999 Constitution is the title deed that gives the descendants of Usman and Fodio and their cronies, their allies, the authority, the right to do what they're doing, because they have succeeded in smuggling your signature on that document. You say, we the people made it. We swore to be held in this slave camp.
We're so sorry. Our brother Usman, he said, oh, this is so good. Let us start recognizing and claiming our different nations. This is the new deal. Dr. Truth is right on point. My brother, I have been doing that. And every one of my patients, Mandoji, they were like, yeah, that makes sense, because you guys are different. It makes sense. Why is it not making sense to our people? That you are not a Nigerian. Our people are here, especially the ones that are born here in America. How are you promoting Nigeria that kick your parents out of their indigenous land?
Simio.
How are you promoting the parent that made your mother and father be fighting and you guys were abandoned?
Simio.
Why are you promoting Nigeria? You are not a Nigerian. You're from different nations that the criminal tied together in order for them to sell their enterprise.
Simple. Children, youths of this age, whenever you are in US, America, and outside wherever that they sent you to, and your parents start telling you, because somebody says something that makes sense, say Nigerians, the so-called Nigerians, that is only them that you see that when they are in Nigeria, they don't love Nigeria. But when they travel out, they start loving Nigeria from outside. If you love Nigeria so much, why did you leave? Why did you leave? You see the hypocrisy? You see the hypocrisy we are talking about? We are saying, let this lies stop. Let the hypocrisy stop. If you love Nigeria so much, go inside Nigeria and live there and begin to talk from there. You foreigners, if you love Nigeria, let's swap. Go and take the so-called democracy that you're building. Let's take your own. These lies must stop. It's based on 1999 Constitution that they created all the institutions you're seeing. The Electoral Commission. So those of you that are fighting the electoral process on, What is making them do what they're doing is 1999 Constitution. You must start the fight from there. It's the 1999 Constitution that based on that they created the military, the police, everything that is biting Nigerians, everything that is hitting your head, the so-called Nigerians, because we use that word sometimes just for explanation, is the 1999 Constitution. There is an exclusive list in there. Nina has said it all the time. Every provision, every ownership structure, everything is in that document that you did not make. They anchor their feudalistic government. And everything that it does right now to you, the raping, the killing, the murdering, the everything, the privation, sending you away, the suppression, everything is anchored on that fake, that fraudulent document.
It's crazy, my dear.
Anything that is
Somebody
going
came
wrong
to
in
your
your region,
father's land, kill your parents, and tell you your name is now Nigeria. And you have the opportunity to leave the person and leave the environment in a safe environment. And you still continue to call yourself Nigeria. Do you know there's something huge here? There's something fundamental going on. Now you're in a space in America, UK, whatever. You still continue to promote the name that your slave master gave you when you should be identifying with yourself. Does that even make sense? Does that even make sense?
so please begin to speak your language to your people. Speak your language to your children. If your father cannot speak, get a translator. Let your father and your parents speak their language. Here in US, the doctors see their patients in their language. They will make a call. US is setting up all this, even when people did not belong here. They know that they're just coming to work here and live, but they want to make them comfortable. They provide translators for them. They make that provision. Even when you come with your family member, no, they don't want the family member to speak. They want an independent person to say what the patient is saying because they don't want anybody to be abused. They want that represent yourself. But language will not be a hindrance. How come we are in our nation where we can't even represent ourselves? Doesn't make sense, like my sister said. So is that 1999 Constitution everything that is going wrong in your region that you can't fix? Anambra people, we warned you when you are voting Soludo. We warned you when you are voting Soludo. What did you do? You went ahead. We told you that because of 1999 Constitution, there's nothing they can do. Yes, we know. We are trying to explain to our people. Sometimes some of these criminals and urchins stroll into our show and they put one comment or the other. We'll just delete them. It's a wasted effort. These are the agents of the Lucifer. Lucifer agents going from places to drinking blood. That blood suckers. So they pay them. The politicians pay them. The church leaders pay them. When you're alive doing something, trying to talk to your people, you didn't invite them. They have no business to be in your space, but they will come. They will have audacity and bring themselves in. So once in a while they appear and we will delete them. That's all we do to criminals. Delete. And eventually life will delete you also. So we continue to talk. So the 1999 Constitution is the reason why they organize fake elections and impose ghosts on you as leaders. The 1999 Constitution is the reason why invaders are in your land. They will sit in Abuja, manipulate, and make over 200 million people look stupid. Yes. Because when I look at people like Kenneth Okonkwo speaking all the English, like he looks stupid to me. I'm like, all this English you're speaking and vibrating because they have given you money. Yesterday you are supporting Buhari. Today you're supporting Peter Obi. You're just there. To you, it's movie, rattlesnake or whatever all those things that are acting. Everything that is going on is movie to Kenneth Okonkwo. Today he's acting this part. Tomorrow he's acting another part. When are you going to stop all this acting so that we sit down and discuss real issues? Okay, so we continue. The danger of submitting to fraudulent processes. There is a danger because you know what? Everything in this world, anything you do in this life, There are consequences for everything you do. Any action in this world, there are consequences. And you that did it, and even those that are around you, will pay for it. So there is a danger. It's not just bad enough that you're submitting yourself to processes that you know that are fraudulent. Why are they fraudulent? Because the document upon they base them, the document is fraudulent. Every other thing is like traveling with a fraudulent passport. They will not, when you get to, if you manage to get where you're going, at the point they detected that that passport is fake, they will not say, oh, so you will be going to prison from there immediately. They will need to take you to court to prove that this is that. No, that document, that you have that document, is over for you. That's why it is. The 1999 Constitution is a fraudulent document because the people did not make it. It was imposed on them. The people did not sign it. People signed on their behalf. The caliphate, the Fulani oligarchs, did all this manipulation. And that's why I say that anything based on it is fraudulent. You know it. The lawyers know it. But what are they doing? Lying to the people. So the danger is that you will be distracted from taking the right step to free yourself and next generation because they're distracting you. You see, the Fulanis have succeeded in distracting Nigerians because that's what this 2023 election was about. Yep. They knew who they wanted. They knew what they wanted. It's about, they have cabals, like we explained to you. The cabals will be discussing among them because they have a nation. They see themselves as a nation in another nation. And everywhere they go, they occupy, subdue, kill, destroy. That is their portion. Now, they have that, their cabal. They send them out because they have multi-dimensional approaches. This one is doing this, Dangote is doing economic, this one is doing like that. So as they're seeing this one, which one is favoring them more, and then they narrow in to where they're going. So they have this all on the table.
Yeah.
All they needed in this election is for you to show that there was some form of election that looked like democracy. Not for you to vote. They are not interested in using your votes. You have seen what they did. Not transmitting your vote shows that your vote is not needed for the decision that needs to be made. Can't you get it? Don't just say, oh, it's criminality to do this. Ask yourself, why did they do this? What's the meaning of this? What's the implication? Yes. They did not transmit your vote because they don't need your vote to make the decision they need to make. You are inconsequential. You are not needed in this decision.
Man.
You are a slave living in the estate of their grandfather.
Yeah, singing their music, singing their songs, and dancing their songs.
How will a slave have an opinion, let alone express it? Peter Obi now knows how to make quotes. After wasting the people's time and wasting all that Ninas has done, Ninas has concluded this matter. The people have their freedom on the table. What did Peter Obi do with it? He carried the freedom of the people and went to do gamble with it. With his Fulani friend.
Without any of his money into it.
Without any of his money inside it. He said, Shishi, I'm not giving you. You are the one putting your own money inside.
And that did not concern my people, that someone is not investing in something that they claim is so right.
Woo! That did not tell you something. If Peter Obi knew that what he was fighting was real and he was going to get it, why didn't he commit his resources? He did not. And he told you openly that he will not, because he knows it's fraud. He knows there's no engine in the car. That getting a driver is not the way. He has said the truth before. God knows why they are blackmailing him, because I feel that there must be something that he has done before. Maybe they gave him money, like they did with Azikiwe. These people will set you up first, give you money, promote you, and then impose actions on you. I don't know if somebody is posing it on Peter or he's becoming bad by himself. We will find out in the days ahead. Because it's one thing for you not to know what is going on and claim that you know, and you are pushing the people. Now they are being killed and you're speaking English. After that, now you say you can't build peace on a faulty foundation. At what point did you realize this, Mr. Peter? When you were going, you did not know that the foundation was faulty, and you went there to do what exactly? And then he said, I'm challenging the process. I have not called anybody. You will continue to be elusive. You will continue to be elusive. Don't worry, they will soon give you the tea that they gave others. Are you the first? You're not the first now. If they allowed you to win, will you be challenging the process? You see what we call about this selective truth? When it affects you, you begin to speak truth. When it doesn't affect you,
When Nigeria happens to you, you begin to cry foul.
yes. Meanwhile, you have been part of the criminality all along. Why did they tell them to go to court? Somebody should ask. Why didn't they get it right in the first instance? Nigeria invested borrowed money, billions of borrowed money to make the process or deceive the people that the process will be right. After wasting all that money, they say, go to court if you want, because they're waiting for you at the court. They have finished putting the things in place. What made politicians, the pastors, the political parties, what made them that for all these years they could not retrieve mandates of the past people that they so-called voted for? It happened 2015. Good luck was rigged out. 2019, Atiku and this P2B. People know the truth. Why, if you know the truth, why are you lying? Even the time of Chief Awolowo, he won election, they imprisoned him in this Nigeria. Tell your children, that the youth that are hopping up and down, tell them the truth. Because one day they will find out the truth by themselves. MKO, they gave him tea. He didn't see the death. That's year over with his mandate. You see, Nigeria is where you have mandate. One thing is, are you going to get the mandate? Some will die and get imprisoned. Some will get imprisoned. Some will die trying to get the mandate. If you manage to get, you cannot, they don't recover mandate in Nigeria because it's an estate, the estate of Usman and Fodio.
Yeah, you're just a common renter, man. Can you guys appreciate? You're just a slave. Get that through your head. You're a Nigerian slave. That's all you are. You can't even identify where you come from. You're afraid of calling, saying that you're from Igbo nation, you're Yoruba nation, you are their slave, you Nigerians. Appreciate that because that's what you call yourselves.
Exactly. So after this election that they did, the sham they did, remember that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukoya Ariwola, is a Yoruba man. He's from Oyo State. It was Tinubu that recommended him for Buhari. So be putting things together. And according to Dino Malaye, he said that after P2B of Labour Party said that he was going to court, you know, he has to encourage. Initially, he said, let's calm down. Let's calm down. Then after they finished, he said, no, let's go to court. You think Anambra State is Nigeria? Tinubu invited the Chief Justice to his house. That's what Dino is telling us. He said it happened on the night of 2nd March, 2023. He said, what is he doing there? Okay.
Look at the criminal asking questions.
Dino is asking questions. Criminal is asking criminal questions. Criminal gangs are asking themselves questions to deceive our people, thinking that there's something going on. It's all distraction. Ninas is saying that it's very important for us to define the change we want. It's at the height of irresponsibility for you to want change and you don't know the change you want and you don't want to make your proper diagnosis so that you know what it is you want exactly. Do you want to change personnel or you want to change the system? You must come to that conclusion. You must ask yourself that question as an adult. Say, what is going on? Is it not the whole system that is bad? Is the system you need to change. After this 2020 selection that they did, we can see 4 pathways because Nina said, because of all these things happening, that's why Nina said, no need to go for this election. It's a wasted effort.
Yep.
We have a union dispute. We have grievances on the ground, and we don't have a union yet. You must have a union first. Then you have a constitution. After having constitution, then you go for election. In that process, a union, then the union of nations, of peoples, or whatever it is, we don't have problem with diversity, but there must be equal standing. There will
Yep.
be level playing ground. So everybody will be together, agree to have a union and form a union. After that, they share, based on their shared values, core values, they will make a constitution that will guide them and determine the terms. After that, that's when you go for election. But you people are putting cart in front of the horse and you think there will be movement. There will not be movement. There will be accident. And that is why Nina proposed and said, don't do this. Told our people, don't do this to yourself. This is what will happen. We already knew because it has been happening. You don't need a fortune teller to know what will happen.
You don't
So
need a
now you have
gospel God
people,
to come and
some are
tell you
saying,
either.
we want to go and recover our mandate. Which mandate are you recovering? Peter Obi is number 3. They pushed him to number 3. With all the rigging and the moving and everything that people did, and we are telling you, you don't have
Sister,
structure.
if this
You don't have
election
structure.
did not convince our people that they don't have a country, you know that all of them have become criminals. There's no other way to qualify them. If
Yeah.
you after this election and selection that you guys did, and you saw what happened, that been happened right in front of you when you have given your blood, then you have something else coming for you. It's
So
unbelievable.
we are saying, um, yeah, someone made a comment. Yes, Dina Malaya, it was in second March, he went to his house. Uh, the man went to it happened recently. Yes, today is 4th, we know. So it was 2 days ago.
2
We're
days
saying
ago.
March. Yeah, that's when invited him. Because like our father said, Nigeria belongs to somebody, not you. It belongs to some
Oh,
people.
duh. Yeah, you're not part of.
Fine.
You're not a stakeholder. You're a slave camp living in this. You're a slave living in a camp. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not at the table where decisions are being made. Who the
Mhm.
hell are you and your stupid mandates?
You are not. So one group that's saying you want to recover mandate. I wonder when you have ever heard that people recovered mandate in Nigeria. We are not talking about your local government and state elections. That one is your side activity. This one is a major because the cake, it does not belong only to the people ruling you, it belongs even to the colonial masters. Many people are interested in this cake. So people do not recover mandate here. Another group say, we're going to rerun. That means they want to cancel the whole process. After spending how many billion that your children will pay, are you people even making sense to yourselves? Another group say, oh, we're going to have runoff. Yes, if you know where there are grievances, go there and revote again. I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Where did they get these people that have become so, I don't want to use the word, but they start with S and ends with D? You can fill in the gaps.
Okay, I'm thinking about it. What the heck is it?
Nina is saying, transition now. We told you, we say, whether before your selection, during your selection, after your selection, you will see what we are telling you that will happen to you. And we are continuing our own campaign because we don't have time and resources to waste on useless efforts, on useless activities. We want to engage on things that make sense and things that will help the people move forward. That's why we are carrying on with our campaign. When you go, they'll break your heads, break your nose, cut off your eye. You have one eye and then one nose. Then you still come and meet us where we are with your broken heads, broken mouths. But we told you before, people, you don't need to have broken heads. You can be on the table, let's discuss. You say, no, I want to do. Okay, you have done. After the do, what happened?
Nothing.
Recognize that
Even if their so-called man wins, my dear, he will only be a
many
servant.
things. It's a
He will
servant
be
now.
a servant to Sokoto Caliphate. That's all. It will even be worse for you guys.
He will be
Because
worse.
now they will tell you that your brother is there. Nothing, you won't get nothing out of it. You will never. It just remind me of Obama's presidency that I broke my arm campaigning. Nothing changed. That was the time they even killed the youngest African American boy here. And he
Yes,
tried to talk. I said, so you're not about to Ndoji.
exactly. Umechionia.
He rolled back.
So we are telling you that the options 1, 2, 3, all of them together are reinforcing the fraud called 1999 Constitution. Only option transition will terminate it and give you a meaningful life and give you
Hmm.
that democracy you're looking for. For those of us, those of our people that are saying, oh, they want Biafra, they want this. And you know what? The youths that are asking for Biafra are still being deceived by their so-called grandfathers and fathers that know there's no Biafra to be retrieved. It is over with Biafra. There's no Biafra to be retrieved. The only people still shouting Biafra are those making money from you. You are dying for nothing. There is no Nigeria, there's no Biafra. What you have are the indigenous peoples on their ancestral lands. That is according to 2007 declaration on United Nations declaration on the rights of the indigenous peoples. You are not the one coming to turn anything upside down. You only kill yourself and continue to agitate. Agitate. We agitate it. You're agitating to what effect?
My dear.
Agitate from morning till night.
As
Nobody
for
will
me
listen
and
to you.
my household, we are from Igbo nation. You all get it
Simple.
through your thick head.
When
Okay.
you are now on your ancestral land, for those of you that think, oh, we have 300, over 300 ethnic nations, are we going to have 300 nations? No, no. The nations will now agree, oh, we have shared common values. Let's work together. It will be their decision. They will make that decision and decide how it's going to be. Because when they make that decision, they will write their constitution by themselves. And this thing is worse from the so-called elite people. And that's why I say they're very fraudulent. You
Very,
know you don't know. You
very.
don't know anything in jurisprudence. You don't know. You're a medical doctor. You have never read this class. You don't have a clue. But you come on platform speaking English as if your father is the one that invented English. There's no amount of English without common sense. What my people call akonuche, that will lead anybody to anywhere. If you continue to speak English from morning till night, the problem will be on the table. Ihe nebe ga nebe. Until we sit down
Mm-hmm.
and
Until you
solve,
wake up, go ahead.
until you sit down, we solve this problem. And it has to be solved. You know it will be solved. We are just saying that we don't know how many of you that will remain alive. Because the next season you're entering now, when you are doing is March 11th, that governor, whatever, it's going to be hot. Because you know what? The people that got the top want to make sure they win in all the states. Some of you will die. Yes, some of you that are watching today that are playing this game of selection with the feudal descendants of Usman and Fodio. Some of you will die. Do you know why you're going to die? Because somebody is making a comment. Because you chose to play this game with them. If you say, I'm not doing, let's go and fix it, they will not do anything to you because you are in majority. This election has shown you that you are in the majority, actually. That's why they did not transmit your votes. So since you already know that you're in majority, that want change, why not go for the right process of the change? We are not saying don't fight war, but if you're fighting the wrong battle, you will continue to battle, and there will not be results. But you need to understand what the battle is all about. And then we sit on the table. That's when you have the results, the expected results. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and wasting the blood of your people. Are you, my dear? I
Yep.
stop here.
You'll be wasting your time. As for me and my household, we are from Igbo nation. There is no Nigeria. There's nothing called Nigeria. Nigeria is a fraud. Until you begin to appreciate that, you continue to run in circles. There is no Nigeria. Nigeria is a fraud. Nigeria is an enterprise name, and we are no longer accepting that as who we are. We are no longer identifying with Nigeria as who we are. At least, let me speak for myself as who I am.
There's a map. There was a map. This map behind here, for to show our people. I don't know if it's close by.
Let's
You want,
see.
you want
Yes.
to send it to you? So we want to show you so that because when people understand what we're saying, you see it that you are in majority. You are in majority. That Hausa man, oh, that Fulani man, he said, oh, that this election is going to be referendum. Okay, You have done the referendum. That's why they did not transmit your this thing. That's why we're telling people the referendum we are talking about is not Nigeria that will organize it. If Nigeria that is owned by Fulani, descendants of Usman and Fodio, organize it, you will not get anything out of it. So that is why power must return to the people first. This is it. You see, that white area are the people that want change. The ones that don't want change are in the yellow area. And even in that yellow area,
Actually, they're taking their change. They want the Sharia change. That's what they wanted, and they've made it
so the
happen
type
for
of
them.
change that we are looking for, let me qualify that change. The type of change that we are looking for, which is true democracy. The people that want true democracy, justice, equity, they are in the white section, they are in majority. These people that are holding us down are in the yellow section. And even in yellow section, they are not even majority there. It's just that they have swallowed the owners of that land, the Hausa people that own that land. The people that are doing this evil do not even have an ancestral land in the entire space. They are invaders, they are intruders. But because of our ignorance, the ignorance of the indigenous peoples, they are having audacity to speak and to manipulate and do all the evil they're doing. And daughters of truth, we are saying, you have the right to make that change today. Share this video, please. Let everyone come. My sister is going to tell us about the democracy you're looking for. Because when you hear the democracy, you say, how do we create it? We navigate, we'll show you the way. She will pull it up so that you will follow. Sorry, we are running behind schedule, but we just need to finish up and you will follow what is going on. How do we create this true democracy for Nigerians? People will ask, how are we going to do it? What do we do? We want to create democracy for the people. We want to build it. That's what we want. And everybody wants that. Anybody that has a progressive mind wants that, except the few criminals in our midst. The criminals are in minority. That is what Ninas is saying. The criminals are in minority. People, let's go. Let's go and do the right thing. I'll stop here. Let my sister continue. Thank you.
Right. So just like my sister said, how do we create this true democracy that we are looking for, that we are seeking? How do we get this done? So first of all, it will require a concerted effort by all of us. When we say all of us, we are all stakeholders, and we have not gone a day on this show without reminding you guys that you are a stakeholder in what we're doing. It will include the government, the official, the civic society, the media, and the ordinary citizens. So far, we know that the media, they are not playing for us. They are, my sister will say, they are, what do you call them, brown envelope media, where they will not give the people the information that they need. But to God be the glory, the information that we need is out there. You don't have to get it from the media. You do not have to get it from them. You can, if you want to educate yourself, you can actually go and Google search and get some information that you need. The Ninas has a website, ninasvoice.org, that you can go and look at the information that we have shared so far. We also have our videos, The Daughters of Truth, on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, that is out there for you to, if you are interested in getting this true democracy that we want for our people. Because what we have now, the so-called Nigeria as currently constituted, is only a fraud. Like, get it through your head. So you will never get the judgment that you're looking for. You will never get the fairness that you're looking for. You'll never get the equity that you're looking for. You will never get that, whatever that you think you want, in order, especially for the sake of our children, to move the society forward, is never there, because we live in an estate. We've told you guys that the 1999 Constitution has been defeated. We've declared it a fraud, and they know that it's a fraud. We've gone through the process. We've had the solemn assemblies, we have the constitutional force majeure, and all these things are enshrined in the UN Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Somebody posted it on there. Thank you so much, viewer, for sticking that in there. So we are not doing a barakata, but Sister Kwi doesn't have one in her pocket, and my husband has the other one in his nose. No, it's out there for you to learn. We have come of age where we cannot be going around. You know, I remember when we were growing up, you will see somebody hungry, they will come out, they will totally have, oh, yeah, one big name. Chayoma. Chayoma is about to die. She's even hungry. And that will pop it up. There's nothing to back up the big names. That's why it's okay for us to run away from Nigeria, come to America to have babies. You see a lot of people when they're pregnant, they're here looking for visa to come and have an American child. Have you ever seen an American coming to your place to look for a visa to have a child? what we're saying is that we can make this happen for us. Begin to be aware of what is needed. Begin to get your dignity back. Stop giving testimonies for getting visas to leave your own nation. We are talking about multi-regional referendums that we mention here every day on the show. We're talking about steps that we can be taking to promote democracy, that we are always pointing in the 5-point agenda, because we don't want anarchy. There's no need for that. There is no need for anybody to die. Even the so-called Fulanis, we don't want anybody to die. What we want is for people to live with dignity and be able to move forward and be able to work hard and see their handwork. I appreciate the time they have and effort they have put into the project that they have completed. Not if I get something done, because I'm not from where you are, you put in policy to destroy what I'm doing. We want people to live a meaningful life. A life where it's not good old boy network. Oh, Papa, is the election going to go? No. That's okay. The youth should go and occupy Nigeria and die. When they die, call me. 2023, we can do better than that. When we create a true democracy, it will enable the indigenous peoples to retake their sovereignties. We want to be able to retrieve that. Without retrieving that, anything you're doing, whether you're going to court, you're dancing in the street, you're collecting signatures, the signature will be stuck, because the Nigeria that you know of does not follow any rule of law. They don't have any to follow anyway. We have to begin to repair the damage that we caused from our ignorance over 100 years ago, because we thought that the educated ones from Oxford and England and Harvard and all these things, that they got what we need, only for us to know that they've been brainwashed to represent the colonial masters. I know it was the hand it was equal. We even speak the highest English that will make your head start spinning. Strengthening the rule of law, ensuring that the legal system is independent, not Nketinibu Tinyere, and the one that will go to his house for dinner. We need to make sure it's impartial and effective, so that when something like this happens, we know there's a recourse. But right now, we don't. We are just, bring your money, let them finish your money and bankrupt you. And here can there's no accountability for human rights abuse and corruption. None whatsoever. For us to create a true democracy, we have to strengthen the democratic institutions, meaning that we have to ensure that the judiciary, electoral commission, and other key institutions are independent, transparent, and accountable. But under this current 1999 constitution, you will never have that. They will deal with you accordingly. They told us that as long as we are playing the game of democracy, they are the master politicians. You go nowhere. Are you talking about freedom of expression and the press? You will see the press, instead of asking the tough question, they will say, are you saying, are you saying? They don't even know what they're saying. Because if they say the wrong thing, they will, the so-called, what is that, is it Gumi or his brother will come and take your license for broadcasting. And you want to live in the same space with people that do not allow you to breathe. You want to live in a space where the only time that you begin to arrive is when you are one of them, if you go and join them, if you go and become their stooge. Because that's what they did to us for so many years. They will say, oh, Chukuma Onora is our brother, he's the minister. Chukwu Onora will not do anything for us. He will come to his village and maybe his kinsmen, when he comes back, he will turn on the generator, give them money, give them alcohol, pay school fees here and there, and they will deceive our people. And people will be singing that Chukwuma is a good guy, when they are using the money that they're supposed to use to build the hospitals, pay for school fees, pave the road, do all these things. They will use it to kind of like give certain people in the village, and those people will take over and set fire everywhere and be promoting their names. Think about all of these things that we're saying. They will see you during Christmas and tell you they are doing a football competition, and they will buy fake trophy from China, and you from Nchangu village and Ose village will come and play, and then they will give you guys the cup, and they will take their children, send them to Canada, send them to US to go to school, while you remain in the village with no teacher to teach your children. They've been playing games, y'all. Merry-go-round that doesn't stop. In order for us to create a true democracy, we have to promote access to information and ensure journalists and media organizations are free to report government activities. And right now, we don't have that. Hold government accountable. Civic education, because right now we are politically illiterate. We can speak English, we live in your own house. I live in my own house. I have money. I'm getting my checks every month. Who are you to tell me otherwise? But what we don't realize is that we do not know what is going on. It's the policymakers that decide how it's going to end for us. That's why we cannot afford to be ignorant of what is going on. That's why we cannot afford to continue to be politically illiterate anymore. We have to be part of the process. We have to understand what is needed. The information is out there, because if we were politically literate, nobody will come and tell us that there's no process. But if they kill enough people and turn your land into Somalia, and then you will get freedom. We would have known that something called the UN, the Declaration Rights of Indigenous People, would have known about that. Being politically literate is important. Are we talking about women? Because women are the ones that give birth. They're the ones that make sure that if you train a woman, that they say you've trained a village. We don't like things to fall apart. We know what it is to lose a child. We have to make things work and protect equal access and the rights of everybody. And of course, we cannot end this show without again pointing out the 5-point agenda that we have told you guys. These are the things that we need to do to move forward. You have wasted our time. A lot of people didn't want to understand what we're saying about Ninas, but all of a sudden they understand the fraudulent elections and selections going on in Nigeria. And then when somebody gets mad, they say, oh, Mwanya Nation. You didn't understand the Ninas process that want to give you a sustainable, meaningful life forever, for us to continue to build forward. But you understand the fraudulent elections and selections that had continuously put us backwards. I don't know how to quantify this kind of people. I'm lost for words. So we're saying there must be an acknowledgement of the grave constitutional grievances that we raised in the union dispute. We are saying there must be an express commitment to decommission the 1999 unitary constitution that is all against us, that will never allow us to move forward. And you guys have done your elections. So what are we going to do? We are still asking to initiate an immediate transitioning process for a fresh constitutional protocols. You've done the election, it didn't take you anywhere. Your mandate was stolen. You guys are saying, oh, one lady told me, I make a result and only for her to wake up, they say that they have declared Tinubu the winner. I don't know where she went to, if she's still here. Because they don't understand what we're saying. They don't want to understand what we're saying. And we are tired of ignorant people having the audacity to come and speak to our people. That if you don't have the income, we don't want your English, go and do your research. You can even speak it in Igbo. But do your research and make sure you're giving the people all the information that they need to make the right decisions. The fourth one is an invitation to the constituent people of Nigeria to work at the modalities for transitioning arrangement, including time frame, membership, and ancillary matters. We cannot move forward if the people are not part of what we're doing. Look at this selection that you guys did. A nation of so-called 200 million people. Guess how many people voted? It's not even up to 40 million. Sit on that. You have 200 million people. You guys did PVC movement, PVC registration, PVC revolution, PVC this. According to the information that I got, 2019, there were 30 million registered voters. So I'm assuming that with the so-called PVC revolution, that you guys should have gotten at least 15, 20, if not 30 or 40. But at the end of the day, look at the number that they gave us as to people that voted. You see, there is something fundamentally wrong with the process. There is something fundamentally wrong. We are telling you guys that where you're going, there is no road. The car you're driving, there is no engine. It's a faulty foundation. Even your favorite candidate is telling you guys now, it's a faulty foundation. After he allowed you guys to waste all your money and he kept his. He's telling you all that it's a faulty foundation. And we are looking for announcement of a time-bound two-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums and not 419 referendums, not the one that you will vote. They won't find the code, because we saw grown men crying on the in Facebook. Oh, they won't give me the code won't work, and the other station is going through the same thing. You don't even have to do, like, why should you be that part of the process? If they tell you guys the amount of money that was spent in this election when my people are dying of hunger, you guys will develop an unforgiving heart. If you understand the amount of money this criminal enterprise called Nigeria spent to give you this fake election while you are dying of hunger and looking for food and money to eat, you rise up right now and begin to do stuff. When we do this time-bound transitioning process, it will give our people the consequence, our people the right to recommit or opt out of Nigerian Union. We want to give our people that right. I have given myself the right. I am not a Nigerian. Nigeria does not exist for me. I am from Igbo nation. And whatever that comes out of that, the transitioning process and the referendum, the multi-regional referendums, that's what will determine how we are going to move forward. At least it will allow our people to engage in the process. We're talking about the whole 200 million plus, and not 40 million of those that was able to hustle down and do whatever they need to do to claim that we had an election. Because only the few, as we speak, are enjoying that one Nigeria for themselves. For a lot of us, we have run off. Ndị gbagara na Kenya, ndị nọ na Mediterranean Sea, ndị nọ everywhere, running away, and they will not run out of Nigeria. That's when they want to promote Nigeria. Enough of the nonsense. Begin to claim your nations, where you're from. I have nothing against my Yoruba brothers. I have nothing against, but we need to be able to retrieve our identity back that these people stole. We need to retrieve it back, because without that, we are not going anywhere. We cannot be afraid of who we are. We cannot be ashamed of who we are. There is nothing wrong with who we are. Like my sister said, we are not afraid of diversity, but it has to be done the right way. So don't think that we are against you. And then for those of you that have properties all over Nigeria that don't want us to move forward because of your level of wickedness, time will come when you will lose all those things that is making you hold my people hostage. You will lose every one of them.
You say?
You cannot put your self-interest over the well-being of the whole community. And you will go ego. These people have been eating money. Everything cannot be about money. Everything cannot be about money. If we fix a place where everybody will thrive, I promise you, the God of this universe, because I don't know what God you guys are serving, will come and make you comfortable where you are. That even if you have just a little bit, you'll be able to be comfortable with that a little bit. You cannot hold my people hostage because you have business in Abuja, you have one in Lagos, you have this one here. You want people to be dying while you're pretending to be running elections. Enough of the madness. I don't even want to lose my voice anymore. We have to do better. We want our people to have a life that is dignified, a life that is meaningful. We want people to be able to plan for the future of their children, because as we are speaking right now, we don't even know. We don't know, especially those at home. People are still worried about where their next meal will come from. People are still worried about how they're going to pay their children's school fees, fake school fees, but there's no teachers, but at least they will take the fees from you. So many things that we have to worry about when we should be moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your sovereignty is your right. Your sovereignty is your right. United Nations said so. It's like that. It's a standard truth. Bye. Take care.